Hello and welcome to Mutiny Motorsport Season 9. If you haven't checked out the sprint we had earlier today in Velopark, go back, check out that video. It is amazing. We had a lot of antics going on, and now we're off to the feature race. So people have learned some lessons. They've learned the corners that are scary. All those 13 corners, almost all of them are terrifying for the drivers here today in Brazil.
And thankfully here in Brazil, we've had relatively clear weather after a rather rainy start to this season back in Sebring. So the drivers very happy to see sunshine. A bit of crosswind we were hearing from the drivers, but nothing too crazy out there. So rolling into qualifying, just a quick recap again. Qualifying order sets the order for the feature, whereas the sprint is reversed. So Itsandroopy on top. He's been very quick this season. Titar right behind him. Some other notable results. Renzo, fairly new to the Mutiny, up there in fourth. Orange, John, Stupid Doobie, they've been fighting in maybe the top 5, top 6 this season, so might be looking to see them move forward. And then down at the end, Maxi, the Griggs, and Scorpion rounding out the field.
Yeah, and here we are just joining them on the formation lap as they're all getting ready. They've come away from the start line. No crash at the beginning. We saw, spoiler alert, if you didn't see Shattered get hit off the line, it kind of ruined his sprint race. Just a little bit. He had to go into the pits and then try and make a recovery drive from there. Here we go. So big news from the sprint race, of course, is Scorpion, Droopy, and Broadchin all not finishing the race, all with DNF. So really hurting their championship early on this season.
Yeah, and you've really seen with Droopy. I mean, it was the first race ran out of gas. He had a crash in this season. He's had incredible pace, but just seems like some of that consistency maybe is lacking, or the field is very tight, obviously, but he'll be looking to pick up a lot of points here.
Yeah, and it will help him getting off the line today, up in first place again. And hopefully he has all the fuel that he needs. He would have learnt that lesson, as we can see the drivers now coming around the last chicane, getting their cars ready, lining them up side by side for a start here. Droopy leading the pack from Dave. It's going nice and slowly, waiting to bolt. When's he going to go?
Waiting for the line.
So much tension, yeah.
I know it's a long ways down the front stretch. They're all tight and gridded up. Here we go, green, green, green.
Green, they're off. Droopy gets an amazing start. I think TTR and Dave are side by side. It looks like a packed midfield as we see Droopy go through the chicane. He is off. He's already off. You can't see behind him, though.
Just bolted there. You have to be really careful. That first corner is very much a one-lane chicane there, so you have to be careful and make sure you've established yourself in a position to make it through there safely without getting hit or spun. You definitely saw quite a bit of that.
No.
Oh, and I think that's Snoopy Dooby. I can see him. Yeah, he's falling down the order. And John as well. I've noticed John 16th place, so must have had a collision or something, maybe a moment through that first chicane, as we see Shattered and Orange going side by side. These chicanes are extremely tight, and like we just said,
good exits. Come on. Got some close racing here. Woo!
Giving himself a little bit of a hype talk there.
Yeah, he's done well. He's a good driver, that Nate. He's repping himself at the beginning of this race. Here he is in 9th place, right in the thick of it, as we're on board with Orange. And up the inside goes Broadchin. Oh, he's got those tires heated up nicely early on. That was a fantastic move down the inside.
Excellent driving.
Yeah, is he finding his way after that spin in and DNF in the sprint race? Has he learnt his way? It's got to see. He's not taken to these cars, Broadchin, as quickly as he usually does, as we're on board with Debug and Maxi. Oh,
Mercedes side by side.
Yeah, the Mercedes Petronas boys learnt in Sebring not to go that closely next to each other, and they're taking the team orders pretty strongly today. Don't touch. Toto will not be happy.
See all the drivers here trying to get in line, catch a toe. You can see it looks like everyone behind Nate Delta there, tucking up close.
And up
Titar
front,
hounding Dave.
Yeah, Titar is hounding Dave. They're going through. Droopy not got away from them quite yet, as we see Maxi make a lunge. Oh, touches his teammate but gets away with it. Debug will not want a replay of last weekend's. Oh, is this side by side again? Oh no, sorry. Who is that? Was that the Griggs?
Looks like Griggs. Yep, the
Griggs.
Griggs.
He's taken over as Jeff is not here, so he's in Jeff's car this weekend.
It looks like T-Tar got past Dave there up into that backstretch chicane. He's up in a second.
Up in second, yeah. And it's not very far, just 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds for the top 4. Droopy just starting to make a little bit of a gap, but he's not pulled away just quite yet. As we're on board with Dave coming through that first chicane. So tricky. So many people in the sprint race and qualifying and in practice making mistakes across there. So drivers having to learn to take it a bit cautious. As we go back now, that is Shattered Compass being hounded by Old Boy. Don't forget, Old Boy Bob won the sprint race, so he's feeling pretty feisty. As he comes into the feature race, he's got more time.
Has to be a huge confidence boost coming off of that sprint win and, you know, starting relatively mid-pack in qualifying, but oh my! Okay.
As they both completely missed the
curbs.
corner. And I think that's Orange is going to come through and take the position there. Oh, he can't quite get ahead of Old Boy there, but he must have the advantage coming out onto this main straight. Oh, I think Shattered has lost a few positions in that bounce across the curbs. As we see Orange coming down the inside here, he's going to take it. He's already ahead into the braking zone. What a move. Take that, Old Boy.
Man, and you can see the understeer there into that chicane. I mean, the drivers were talking about the dirty air in the sprint. Definitely looks like that's still the case here in the feature.
Yeah, and there is no corner that they can hide from it. Every corner is either long or sharp, and all you want is the front grip just to help guide the car. You don't want to go too wide onto that serrated curb there. That's thrown cars off earlier in the sprint race as well. On board with Maxi. Maxi showed really great pace, 8th in the sprint race earlier on. And remember, he had terrific pace in Sebring too. So he's looking to make motor. Oh, as we see, who is that? I think that's Rauchen back down the field a little bit.
Rauchen is actually in the pits, it looks like. I wonder if he must have had I don't know if we saw that on camera.
No, I don't. Yeah, there was something going on back there with the car. So he's definitely not going right now. As we're on board with Debug.
Shattered Compass also falling down the order as well.
Yeah, Shattered Compass. Maybe he had damage after that trip into the over the sausage curbs. As we see Old Boy lose the momentum after that moment with Shattered. As Debug comes through, that's a great move to be up into 6th place. Remember the top 12 here getting points, not just the top 7 like the sprint.
Just looking at lap times, I'm seeing, I mean, T-Tar and Droopy pretty close on pace up at the front. Dave also matching, Renzo a little bit further back, and then some folks in the 52s, 53s, 54s.
Yeah. That's not the biggest pace differential we've seen so far, but it is starting to grow. 51s, yeah, well, that is a good pace. So to go back to give you an idea of what their ultimate pace is, Droopy set a 50-0 in qualifying, so they are carrying some fuel. You can feel it here. You can see it in the lap times as well. It's Dave here, not being dropped by T-Tar here, so he's got good pace. He just couldn't hold on in the first stages. So we're on board with Nate, looking at the back of Maxi, that car sliding.
I think I've given myself some damage.
Oh boy, off the track.
Yeah, I think that's going to be damage. Looks like where is he on the map?
The backstretch chicane, it looks like.
Yeah. There's lots of things to hit around there. That is not good. What an afternoon. He went from triumphant highs to damage in the feature. That is not what you want. So we're back on board with Nate, hounding Maxi now. Less than a second in it. Now John as well, hounding the Griggs.
I remember John had actually fallen down to right at the back at the beginning. It seemed like he might have been involved in an incident, but I mean, he has just shown this year just an ability to kind of carve through the field, and looks like we're seeing it here again today.
Yeah, and don't forget, in the sprint race, he was knocked off. What a move down the inside. No prisoners. That was aggressive and firm and exactly what we're looking for. Well done, John. Incredible move. I was saying there, don't forget that John was spun in the sprint race by Titar, so looking to make up amends for some wrongdoings earlier. We did not see him lodge a complaint with the steward, though, as I think that is Shattered coming out of the pits, way in the back there.
Yeah, looks like he's just looking at relative times. He's at least 2 to 3 laps down. So
Yeah,
potentially, if you get some other DNFers, he can pick up some points. But
I think I might retire over my suspension and my front goal.
Yeah, we can see him pulling off. Old boy complaining about his suspension. He's done. Oh, as Nate gets a huge snap of oversteer. Oh, holds onto the car. Good driving. Lap 11 for the leader, Droopy. 4 seconds, almost 5 seconds now to TTR. So he's pulling away, even though the lap times aren't suggesting a huge differential here. He's just gradually making his way in front. And Dave's still right behind as we're watching Brochen. We're so not used to seeing this. Right at the back of the field, fighting B Specialist, who is again standing in for Peter, who we are learning has pulled out from the Mutiny. Oh, I think that's Shattered. Oh,
I think that was B Specialist spinning there.
Oh,
so
B
Shattered and
Specialist?
Brochen through,
sorry.
yeah.
Oh, B Specialist giving the fear of God to the drivers just behind him. Brochen and Shattered at the back of the field, something we're not used to seeing. These two were teammates many seasons ago and had some incredible battles along the way. And now here they are fighting for the last points paying position over a minute, 17 seconds behind the driver in 12th place, who's retiring because that's Old Boy. So they'll move up. Brochen versus Shattered for 1 point. As we're on board with Stoopy Dooby. Behind is substitute teammate at the moment, the Griggs, doing a great job there in 8th place. West Boy's currently picking up some points.
Yeah, excellent drive from him. Yeah, and filling in for normal driver there, Jeff, has chosen to sat out this weekend. Oh, somebody spins on the West. Griggs.
Oh, as we were just talking about him, commentator's curse. Not great.
Looks like he was able to keep 9th there, though. He had quite a bit of gap to 10th and 11th. This little battle between Nate and Maxi is just... I could stay on board with this all day. This is great.
Yeah, they are great. They've had real turns of speed as well. They're doing a phenomenal job picking up just a couple of points here. Getting 3 for Maxi right now, 2 for Nate, and 1 for Brochen as he moves up into 12th place. As we go on board with his teammate who is leading the field by still 4 seconds from TTAR, just 0.2 faster that lap. But yeah, not much in it at all between the top 3. Just 7 seconds, 8 seconds, because Renzo looks like he's right on the back of Dave there, just less than a second behind.
And it seems like Droopy, again, like we've been saying, like his lap times are really not that much quicker, but it seems like he's just able to consistently knock those laps out. Now, what I'm interested to see is obviously this is a 51-second lap time, and you can see on the track map there, I mean, lap traffic is going to play a role in this race, almost certainly.
Yeah, he's already catching up to that. Yeah, he's catching up to that Nate Maxi battle right in front of him. They're just entering the chicane as he's coming down. We can see them in front of him. I wonder if this is going to slow him down just a little bit.
And that's never what you want as a leader coming up on lap traffic. You want people isolated. You don't want them fighting each other, because then they're not focused in their mirrors. They're focused on each other. Not necessarily looking for those blue flags.
That is it. And we can see on the track map, he is approaching them very, very fast. Is that Nate pulling over? That is Nate pulling over, giving him the space. Here's a great thing about this circuit. These 2 long straights do give you an opportunity to get past the cars if they see you in a nice, safe spot. Oh, as we see...
Oh, my goodness.
I think that was Dave taking the rocket option for his car. It is not built for that.
He will be lucky to escape without any damage there.
Yeah, I think that's right. And he's going to be lucky to escape with any damage to his spine. Renzo there taking the opportunity and doesn't need it being asked for twice. He's like, yep, thank you very much. I'll put that 3rd place in my back pocket in that HP car. What a great livery that is.
Yeah. So it looks like, the top 4, even with Dave's off there, have really kind of separated themselves. But we have, looks like a bit of a battle brewing for 5th there, 5th, 6th, 7th. all relatively close, within about 4 seconds.
Yeah.
So something to keep an eye on.
There you go, Dave, making better use of that chicane there. Coming round. Really tricky part of the circuit. That's a decelerating part of the turn. Then you come under the bridge, it drops away from you so drastically. Who designed that? We have no idea. And you come round to this larger chicane that has 2 different campers and a hump in the middle. As we see Nate Delta now making his way over to the side for TTR coming through, lapping him. So top fields starting to lap into the top 10 now. They're only 16 laps in.
And Dave really has, it must not be any damage to that car because he's recovering and he's right back up on the back of Renzo.
Yeah, let's check his lap time out as he comes across the line here. 52 for Renzo, 51.7 for Dave. So he's haunted by his mistake there and he's making amends right now. And
very fortunate to not spin going over those sausage curves.
That is so right. They are a minefield. And the cars do not like them. None of the cars that ever raced here like them. Especially these. They're so low down. So we see them come past some back markers now as we're on board with Debug. Looks like that's Orange just a moment ahead of him. Just half a second. He's coming up. As we're on board now with the Griggs, who found him, was in 8th place and has now found himself down in 11th after that moment.
Managing to pick up a couple points. Yep.
Yeah. Still in the points and ahead of Brauchen, who is about a lap or so down. So he's got a little bit of space behind him, and he's he's caught up to Nate, who had to move over. Whoa! As we see Nate go sideways. Oh,
the sausage curbs claim another victim.
Yeah, and I think that was him in the wall as well as he's dropping down. 11. Yeah, maybe he's back on the track now. Oh, not great for Nate. He had a spin. Don't forget. Earlier in the sprint race, but managed to keep it going and recovered all the way to kept it in 3rd place from leading. Here we go. On board with Dave still doing a great job here, still matching times with the leaders. Now it looks like Droopy's staying in that consistent 51s. Orange Boy in the 51s as well. TTR just dropping into the 51s. So quick drivers out to John as well. So look out for these people. They're at the same pace as the leader.
Even looking further down, I mean, Shatter Compass with a 51.2.
Dirt, yeah, love it.
Debug right behind Orange is starting to feel what it's like to get close. These cars, not great for following. We heard about the Dirty Air and Sebring, and now here again. So I think it's going to be a bit of a theme for this season.
It's really interesting. I mean, you wouldn't, obviously, thinking about, maybe like a Formula 1 car versus a Formula 3 car, you wouldn't think it would throw off nearly as much aero wake or turbulence, but it really has seemed like they do, and maybe it's something with the lower speeds and less mechanical grip, but drivers have been consistently complaining about it throughout the season.
Yeah, one of the main things we're hearing in the paddock is the balance of these cars. The balance of these cars is actually, you need them to be quite, as I thought there was a move going to be happening, that you need them to actually to be quite in the understeer category, which is hurting some of the oversteery drivers. Once the cars get too on the nose, they just don't have enough rear downforce to hold the rear wheels together to the tarmac and the asphalt.
It's like John maybe sort of starting to reel in Orange and Debug up there in 5th and 6th. Obviously, them fighting is going to draw them back a little bit.
Yeah, here you can see the variation as we're on board with Debug. I was just about to say the camber there is so tricky as Orange gets caught out. He takes a defensive line up the inside. Who's going to brake later? Oh, Orange brakes later and keeps the position. But now it's really close. It's really close to Debug just behind. Smell blood.
Yeah.
That was lovely, Orange.
I can't tell how sarcastic that was or if that was just in awe of his great save across the awful cambers in that chicane.
Yeah, the instant you see a driver in front of you lose the rear end a little bit, you are up on the wheel, driving as hard as you can. And look, John is right there as well.
Yeah, that moment has slowed down those two drivers, and John now in the hunt as well. This is a lot of pressure to put on Orange, who has been, we have to say...
Droopy, you are gone.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, as Orange now has done great driving for the Rothmans team. TTR up into second, but losing time now. Droopy into the low 51s. TTR can't match that pace. 9 seconds now the gap, as we're staying on board with this battle. Orange holding the pressure. God.
That gap at the front has really grown. I mean, it seemed like it had stabilized at 4 or 5 seconds for a while, but now it looks like Droopy's gotten into a rhythm, and he's consistently faster than T-Tar, just pulling away.
Yeah, that is it. We're over half race distance now, lap 22. We're thinking this lap, with the time here, it's about half an hour race plus a lap. We're thinking with 50 seconds, we're going to be in like the mid 35 laps, early 30 laps. So coming into the twilight stages now, the last third or so of the race.
Just looking down the field, it looks like Maxi and Nate have found each other again in 10th and 9th. Kind of got broken up by some of the lap cars there, but looks like they'll resume their battle.
Yeah. So it looks like Old Boy and Scorpion are out. Scorpion the first retirement. Old Boy out. Griggs still going. He's in the pits. We can see him. One of those cars in the pits is the Griggs. Oh. As who is that in front of Orange there? Is that Maxi?
I think it's Maxi. Yeah, it looks like they're coming up on some lap cars there.
Oh, Maxi not helping his teammate out there. Oh. There's Debug.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Debug gets caught out by his teammate who tried just to get out of the way just a little bit, but lost the grip, and that was it. Already on the limit.
And we were just talking about the Mercedes, maybe let's say inter-team struggles, to put it nicely, in the first race.
That wouldn't have helped at all.
No.
No, as we're on board with Droopy now, who's he coming up to lap? That is 11th place. That Shattered Compass, not where Shattered wanted to be at all. Now it's on board with John as Debug's had that moment. On board with John now hounding Orange, so what a battle it's turning out to be for 5th place here.
Yeah, and John all the way up from 9th.
Yeah.
9th on the grid, and then dropped all the way down to, I mean, it was 15th, 16th, so coming down through this dip, you got to keep the car balanced. It's so easy to lose it there. I mean, I think we saw, goodness, probably 20 spins there in practice.
Oh, yeah, easily. On board down the main down the back straight. Sorry, John, just having a bit of a nose, maybe trying to distract Orange there. See his line as he entered the chicane went slightly wider, maybe trying to find some fresh air over the front of his car. Again, just slightly offset from Orange there. Trying to find some of that downforce.
Track is so interesting too, because you sort of have these very low speed, especially onto the front straight, it's a very low speed corner into a long straight, so it's really about how you set that up, get that exit, get that drive off.
Oh, as we watch him under the gearbox here, there is no fear in loss of downforce. John is sending it. Carl,
he's got a good run here. Orange has to go defensive.
Yeah, he's right up. He's giving him lots of room. Just can't do it under braking. He has done it under braking. What a move from John there. From 6th place up into 5th.
Nice racing, Orange.
Yeah. Gives his compatriot drivers, not compatriot. Gives his fellow drivers some props there for good, clean racing as they head down, and Orange has this, swallow that bit of pride, look forward, and then just keep going. See if he can make any difference now in the final stages. Lap 27, it's Droopy, followed by T-Tar, Renzo, Dave, John in top 5, Orange, Debug, Stupidoobie, Nate Delta, Maxi, Shattered Compass, and B Specialist all taking the points. As I think, it's just Griggs remaining. I think that's Brochen out of the race now, 7 minutes behind. I think he's retired the car.
Such a frustrating start for him. I mean, he's been a former champion. He has so many wins, podiums to his name, but something about this F3 car just has not suited him quite yet. We'll be looking for him to pick up the pace, I'm sure, later this season, but taking him some time to adapt to the car.
Yeah, he's an absolute beast in the high downforce cars. This just seeming to elude him right now as we watch his teammate. That must be the most upsetting thing. Same car. They're just pulling away in first place. That's demoralizing. Come on,
Looking back to the field,
yeah,
it looks like Debug has kind of picked up the pieces and is back only a couple seconds off Orange again, so that 6th place may not be secure.
Yeah, Orange was in the 51s, remember. He was setting equal lap times with Droopy, and now into the 53s, so maybe he lost a bit of confidence, maybe a tiny bit of damage. We don't know. But he is not the same pace that he was earlier. These tyres seem to be lasting the whole race, what we're hearing from the drivers from practice and qualifying. So unless there's a big lockup, they aren't finding the tyres are dropping away too fast.
Some of the drivers have even noted, they can handle a few lockups and they're pretty sturdy. Kind of the flip side of that is, as you can see on the formation laps, they get cold very quickly and they're hard to heat up. They're very, very hard tire.
Yeah, they do take a while. They do take a while indeed. Orange starting to come back into the 52s now, so matching the pace around him. John isn't too far away, as I think that's Nate being lapped there just in front of them. We do have to mention that there are some more reserve drivers on the horizon, and Red Bull, we are hearing releasing Mr. Mouse from his contract. He hasn't turned up for the first 2 races. He is struggling this season to make it, so they are looking at some replacements. Hopefully by any of the other tracks that we have coming up, they'll find a replacement for him.
Looks like Nate just gets off to the side there. Let's Orange and Debug through. That's one interesting thing about this season is with just how high the grid counts are, we've actually had mid-season driver changes, which I don't think we've ever had before, but it's been really fun to just see the energy and momentum around the league and how many drivers are joining. And Debug with a spin.
Debug, he keeps the engine running. He's got to wait for a gap, though. He doesn't want to get penalized for just jumping in front of someone and causing a collision. Didn't lose any positions, though. That was just pride and time. So there must have been some lapped cars. As we see Droopy coming in lap 30, starting lap 31. 51.7. So this is the first time Titar's been faster than him in a little while.
Absolutely metronomic. It looks like maybe the top 4, or we've got up through the top 6 are still on the lead lap, but Droopy's very quickly catching Orange and John there, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them go a lap down before this is all over.
Yeah. Just looking back through Droopy's times this race, I would say 90% of his laps so far have been in the 51s. I think he's only dropped into the 52s if he's come up on traffic. So like you're saying, this is the kind of times that we've been used to seeing from Peter in the previous seasons, who hasn't made it this season.
Yeah, something about being able to, obviously as we saw in this race, a lot of drivers dipped into the 51s, but being able to consistently keep it there, that's really what separates the good from the great.
Yeah. Let's just start lap 32. Oh, sorry, no. Where's Droopy on the map? I can't see him.
Looks like he's on the backstretch.
He's on the backstretch, so halfway through lap 32. Dave lost touch with Renzo in front, so not been able to keep the pace he had earlier as we're on board with TTR. Coming down the backstretch now, so that's the kind of gap that we had to first place. 10 seconds, 11 seconds now. It's a better outing so far. TTR, remember, was up fighting Droopy, who was running out of fuel in the feature race and spun out at the first race at Sebring. Here we are, 11 seconds off the lead, not able to keep up with Droopy this time. Droopy got plenty of fuel.
Was able to pick up a second place.
Oh, it's just as we say that. through the chicane and into the barriers. That is a rear wing gone. Oh, there we are as he drives past it. That car looks uncontrollable.
Oh, look at
Grabbing
it, dog-legged. Yeah.
Oh, he's down into third place already. Is he going to try and go and pit? There can't be many laps left at all. As we see, just to add insult to injury there, Droopy with a 50.9. I think that's the fastest lap of the race so far. Tita, what has happened?
There didn't seem to be any lap traffic around. I mean, has he just lost it? I wonder if there was a issue or...
Yeah, that chicane has been tricky, and he just touched a curb. We couldn't quite see on the angle, but that car looks impossible to hold on to as he's coming down the back straight there. Grabbing his way along.
I'm wondering where the stewards are at. This seems like it would necessitate a safety car, but seems like they're just race on.
Race on, 45 seconds now. He's dropped 35 seconds from that crash.
It's karma.
Oh, as John approaches. Tita.
That was a joke, by the way. I didn't mean it.
Harkening back to the sprint there, I think.
Yeah, I think so, as John takes that fourth place. TTR holding on for his dear life. He has gone past the pits. It's looking like he's gone past the pit entrance.
Oh, you almost took me out.
As he almost wipes out his teammate. That would have been a good day. John Orange passed. I think he's going to be lucky. Debug now passed. I think he's going to be very lucky that there's lapped cars. The race is closing to an end now. The 30 minutes and 1 lap are coming to a close. He might be saved by the bell here, but that is devastating. 1 minute 5 behind. I don't think he's going to be caught by Nate, as we're on board with Orange here.
Working his way through some lap traffic there, it looks like. So yeah, Orange going to be the top finishing Rothmans driver after Titar was leading solidly for most of the race. Oh my goodness, Look at that steering wheel.
Yeah, the game is graphic. The game is glitching out on us. There is no rear wing on that car.
Yep.
As we see him almost wipe out another driver, but still holding on. Only 1 minute and 13 behind is Droopy. I think that is the checkered flag. As Droopy has finished the race, he's holding on to 7th place. So,
Seventh.
Brutal stuff here. That is a crying way all the way home. So that's
Orange,
it. Droopy, Renzo, Dave.
Good racing.
Thanks. Yeah, good one there, Droopy. I'm happy to see that one go.
Happy to see that one go, he says, as he wins the race by 12 seconds. Didn't necessarily seem like he was breaking a sweat out there, but I'm sure driving that consistently takes some effort.
Absolutely, it does. See Droopy driving into the pits. What a race. He was going to be winning that Sebring race. Here we are. Here are the results. Droopy in first, Renzo in second, Dave C out on the podium. That's a lot of points for those guys. John, Orange, Debug, and TTAR taking the top 7. Nate up into 8th, Stupidoobie in 9th, Maxi 10th, Shattered Compass 11th, and B Specialist in 12th getting the final point, and Griggs 6 laps down in the end. In 13th, we have the DNFs of Scorpion and Old Boy and Brochen. Driver of the day been awarded to Orange, and fastest lap gone to Droopy. We called it. That was an incredible race. Lots of drama, especially right at the end.
Yeah, I mean, seeing a driver kind of throw it into the wall at the end and, spins, fights in the midfield, everything you want to see out of a race.
Yeah, this has not been the start for drivers like Brocha and TTR. They're not used to making these mistakes or being out of position like this. But the midfield battles have proved that if you're holding on there, it can make do. And here we have the drivers standing. It's Droopy leading the championship ahead of Jeff, who didn't turn up this weekend, who got 28 points from that first race. Tied with Dave in the HP car. John in 4th. Orange in 5th place. Old Boy, 18 points. In the same position as Renzo. TTR, 8th. Shattered 9th. Stupidoobie, 10th. Nate Delta, 11th. Brochen in 12th. Debug, 13th. Maxi. Dan Gilligan, who didn't turn up today. B Specialist with 1 point, and Viltec, and then the rest of the field. still looking to make their mark off the points. This has been a hell of a opening to the season. It is unpredictable so far. It looks like Droopy and Jeff and Dave are the most consistent people out there.
Yeah, I can definitely see. I think consistency is really going to play off. And I mean, looking here at the constructors standings, I mean, there's, granted, with a drop round and some people missing some races, there's really nothing in it between those top 3 or 4. So it'll be fun to watch how that plays out going through the season.
Yeah, exactly. Marlboro, Parmalat, BMW, all actually relatively close. It's actually pretty close. From 4th down to 8th is not far. Red Bull, they need a second driver. Like I said, they're looking at one for a mid-season driver swap along with and Mercedes Petronas. If they could stop getting in each other's way,
Yeah.
they might get a few extra points. And CannonNet and Vodafone yet to get off the mark. Thank you so much for joining us for today. This has been an incredible sprint race and feature race this weekend. We cannot wait for you to join us next weekend, where we'll find out what the track is and what the drivers can do on that track.